Our top story, round one of an epic legal battle to remove St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner from office. Tonight, new reaction from both sides.
Mr. Baily's intentions appear to be to harm Ms. Gardner and the city for his own political gain.
That is a distraction from the fact that she's not doing her job.
Today's hearing wrapped up just a few hours ago. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Ann Allred is on assignment. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Baily claims Kim Gardner has neglected her duties, but attorneys for the embattled circuit attorney say he doesn't have proof she did it intentionally. We have team coverage tonight. Laura Barczewski has reaction from Baily and supporters of Gardner. But let's start with our political editor, Mark Maxwell, with what happened in court today. Mark.
Mike, the first round of this high-stakes legal battle showed clear dividing lines in the St. Louis criminal justice system. The attorney general, defense attorneys, Kim Gardner's own staff, even judges who've heard her cases, say her office is on the brink of total collapse. Her lawyers said that's even more reason not to weigh them down further with such a demanding trial.
So we are here today, as we all know, in the matter of Missouri Attorney General versus Kimberly Gardner.
Judge John Terbitsky listened to hours of arguments Tuesday afternoon.
In this case, our new unelected Attorney General, Mr. Baily, has decided he doesn't like how Ms. Gardner is doing her job and seeks to unseat the people's choice.
Attorneys for Kim Gardner argued she should not have to divulge the information Attorney General Andrew Baily was after.
The subpoenas that they have served are breathtaking.
We've been asking for documents since March 1. We don't have a single document, nor has one ever been offered.
This is a pure fishing expedition.
You've kind of asserted a blanket privilege objection.
The immense amount of manpower that would go into that is really undermining public safety. They should not be allowed to pry into the inner workings of the office in this way.
Part of my concern with that argument is that this entire lawsuit is about the inner workings of the office.
Which is why it should be dismissed, Your Honor.
Fair enough.
The appellate court judge had to fill in on the bench for a rather unusual circumstance.
Judge Booker Shaw here on behalf of the judges of the 22nd Circuit.
Every judge in St. Louis had to recuse themselves from this case, where they could be called as witnesses to explain the dysfunction inside Gardner's office.
Whatever the cause of it, the circuit attorney's office is now in a state of near total collapse.
Few people know the inside of a courtroom better than defense attorney Scott Rosenblum.
They just can't handle the work, and it's like one Band-Aid after another, and it's about to collapse.
He analyzed Gardner's defense and saw her attorneys trying to walk a tightrope between denying the charges outright and shifting any blame that stems from it to her staff.
Unless she's going to try to establish that her office is some independent branch and she has nothing to do with it, that's sort of ludicrous that she shouldn't be held responsible.
While the judge hasn't officially decided on what will happen next,
I also saw a judge that believes this case should be pushed to trial, in my opinion.
Gardner's attorneys argued she should not have to hand over internal documents, and former employees shouldn't either.
It's sensitive information. That employee cannot unilaterally decide to turn that case file, which is the office's property, over to the Attorney General.
And this effort to silence me and stop me from complying with a subpoena and lawful process is trying to shift the blame to our attorneys and our staff.
Before she resigned Friday, Natalia Ogurkowicz was an assistant circuit attorney. Gardner's supporters tried to shout her down and interrupt her comments to the press.
Stop the lynching of Kim Gardner.
I'm speaking.
I don't care. I have freedom of speech. And this is a legal lynching.
My personal objective is for everyone to walk into this next election, should it happen, with more information than they had last time about what's going on in the circuit attorney's office.
Those insiders, whistleblowers, could become key witnesses at a trial should it happen. The judge set that tentative trial date to start September 25th. There's still an outside shot the judge dismisses the case altogether, but expert attorneys tell us that's unlikely this early in the process. Gardner's lawyers have 1 week to respond in writing and explain why this case should not proceed, or if it does, why the court should limit the scope of discovery.
Mark, thanks. The back and forth inside the courtroom spilled outside the civil courts building. 5 on your side, Laura Barczewski continues our team coverage. She's live downtown, where she heard from supporters of Gardner and the Attorney General. Laura.
Mike, the Attorney General says Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner is playing the blame game and not truly helping this city. Now, Kim Gardner's supporters say and disagree with that. They believe that she is truly delivering justice to the best of her ability and stand by previous statements that this is all a political stunt.
Stop the public lynching!
Following the first hearing in the Quo Warranto proceeding, one of Kim Gardner's attorneys says this entire filing is a blatant attack pointing straight at the Attorney General.
Mr. Baily's intentions appear to be to harm Ms. Gardner and the city for his own political gain. Ms. Gardner cares deeply about the city of St. Louis. She is also proud of and supports her attorneys, investigators, and staff. Neither Ms. Gardner nor her colleagues deserve the criticisms directed at her by the Attorney General.
Attorney General Andrew Baily says he is trying to protect the city of St. Louis. There's only one person at fault here.
She is responsible for her toxic work environment. She is responsible for her refusal to do her job. Her failures are the result of her behavior. And this removal proceeding is the result of her decisions and her inaction.
With the most recent incident that happened when an attorney from her office failed to show up to court and a judge therefore filed trying to hold her in contempt, what's your reaction to that, and will that play into your case?
Yeah, it's disturbing. This was a murder trial. This was not set for a counsel status hearing or some kind of update hearing. It was set for a trial, and she didn't even show up to court. So now a victim suffers.
Gardner's supporters say they're frustrated and continue to stand by her.
We believe that what the AG is doing under the guise of wanting public safety is obstructing public safety. It's not helping the city of St. Louis. It's not helping any victims. It's not helping the state as a whole.
The Attorney General says there will be more hearings ahead of that September 25th trial date. Reporting live from downtown St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Stay with 5 on your side for